Boy, I sure hate it when I don't press the one button. Yeah.
I mean, that's all fine.
Hi, hello individuals. You missed 30 minutes of me doing 3D modeling because I forgot to hit one button.
Well, we're
I
here
love
now.
I love being a content creator on this platform. I have a stream deck that has a button to just do that for me and I still forgot about it.
Okay. That's why I like everything being manual. I wasn't always sure about getting a stream deck myself, but we're here now. We got a
No, there's
decent
like
ways in,
there's
at least
like
an
two.
idea.
There's one button on the stream deck, but there's also a button that's on the website itself.
Yep. Okay. This is kind of weird. There has to be one there.
So hello internet individuals. What you missed is I'm trying to do the eyes now and I have a friend with me helping me because I was suffering too much like 5 hours ago. So I decided to get help with not suffering as much.
All right. Well, so I'm still unhappy about having the triangles on the edge there. I'm trying to look at another model to see what the best thing I can do for this. Having a perfectly circular eye like this is
What am I
not
making?
something I
I'm
can
making a
really
3D
do.
model of my persona, Floof. This is Floof.
Nice. So still, I'm just gonna throw some ideas. This is at least the shape that I want to try to make, at least personally, um, for where the eye is, and then having, if you can do the extrude of bringing the eye in again, if that makes sense, of all the stuff on the edge.
So extrude it to where I actually
Yep.
want the
So
eye to
so press
start at.
so press E and then press S.
So do it. Is this where I put it to where I actually want the eye to start at?
Yes, that's what I would do.
Honestly, I'm thinking I want this to just be the end of the outline.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, hold on. Let me do the extrude first. Shifty or Alt E was it?
It's just press E and then press S. And then bring it in. And so this is making a flat face, remember?
Yeah. So
So
I
just be aware of it. So I'd have this, I'd
so
have
I was
a plane going around everything,
so what I meant
personally.
was I was thinking these faces be like the outline.
Okay. I'd have, yeah, yeah, you can definitely do that, actually. If you want to,
Yeah.
and then you can make the other pieces. So for the actual eye,
Would that actually work for blinking though, or would trying to blink just make the outline stretch out?
so no, it's fine if that stretches because it's all going to be a flat white color in this case. So I wouldn't really worry about the entire white part of it stretching because
No, I
it's
don't
not
mean
like
the
it's
white
gonna
part
have
of it. I
like.
mean the outline part of it. This bit.
Okay, I still was confused if you're saying this outline part is going to be the white part of the eye,
Okay.
essentially.
When I say the
Is
outline,
that
I
what you
mean
want?
like the black border.
Okay, you want it to be the black border. So this black border basically never moves. So you have a lot more parts to it than I thought you would. But this, yes, this would work just fine to me. Um, I'm still, I'm still on the triangles right now. I'm thinking about how I'd want to make a line go across it. I am thinking to have you do another thing real quick that might be really annoying.
Mm.
So, I don't know how to explain this verbally as well. So what I just want to get rid of the four triangles in the corners personally, and
Yeah.
there's all that section on the left and the right that has kind of nothing going on. So we can delete those now. I delete the line connecting the triangle and the awkward squished square that it's connecting to.
These two?
Yep. Yep, I delete those.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we think about that.
Um,
Just edges. And then press Control R, and on those two squares that are connected on both sides,
uh,
make a line down the middle.
these four?
Yep. So
Then
make a line going down the middle of them.
you said Alt R,
Control R.
Controller.
So while we're in the press 1, we want to be in that mode.
I've pressed it. What has it? Is it meant
Well,
to do something?
change the to the vertices mode, not the faces mode. Well, actually, no, you can still do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
never mind.
like a line going
like
straight
here?
up and down. Like, yep, that is what I'm thinking.
I keep doing that.
I'd have it in the middle. It's fine. Do it again right there.
And then
And then you can make, and it makes perfectly 2 squares. If that makes sense. Yep. Perfect.
there we go.
That feels much better. I normally try to have like a whole circle going around it. But this can work out quite well, especially for the simpler model that you're using. I like this one. I'm feeling a lot better about this. So now for actually thinking about how we want to do the
I should probably ask how if there'll be like any trouble trying to like make this more circular.
So if you're trying to get a perfect circle, I don't
Like not
know
perfect. Like it doesn't have to be
how.
perfect. I just don't want it to look really polygonal as it does right now.
Yep. So right now that line you had going straight down on those squares, it might be off on that. So you should be able to rotate around the head and start seeing what parts are flat. So the inset part of where the outline of the eye is should be starting to look flat essentially. You also get, because you have that extra detail now around the eye, it's going to be closer to flat in those places. It's more of just you pressing on those lines and those vertices and bringing them out. So say the three vertices that you just made on the left side there. So yeah, so that one's the one in the middle.
Do I do the same on the right side?
I just do a grouping one at a time, but you're gonna do it for both sides. I do Alt S, and then move that as you feel is relevant. So this is going to make the vertices move directly away from what it thinks is the center of the object that it is.
This is shrink fatten.
So you'd use this, you'd use S normally by itself, and I also slide things around with G, pressing G twice, until I feel like it's in a position that I like. And sometimes you press Control S and bring it back closer in. Just because we just made these, those aren't going to be entirely spherical. I think these would be the best ones to try on, see how we feel. So it's trying to use a combination of things. Sometimes just using Control S will just make it perfect for what you want. Sometimes you can't move all 3 of them. Like you'll move the one in the middle will go in the perfect spot, but the other 2 might not. And so you got to do them individually at that point.
I think it looks good enough now.
Okay. So that inside outline of the eye should be a flat plane to that outside line, essentially, if that makes sense. We're talking about the actual eye now. So should be able to
these ones are a little bit too inside. Is what you mean.
So so those are, it's going to be making it flat.
So do you mean do the same Alt S thing?
Yep. It might work weird because it's on an edge like this, and it's not a actual surface that it's on. that makes sense. You should be able to get it.
Looks a little bit
It
zigzaggy.
is a little weird looking at it because of how the place it's on. I wouldn't worry too much. So I think it's an okay spot now. Was try to construct the whole eye, the inside of the eye, and then start moving stuff around. So if you're okay with where the outside line is entirely, then I would go forward with everything else. I just want to make sure what parts of the eye that you want to exist and how you want things to move. So just get your where you want the outside line on a resting position to be. And the one thought that you might have, so maybe you don't want it to be flat on the bottom, because it's technically flat on the bottom, although you can texture it so it's obviously not flat. You can add a point. You add a whole line going down the middle of the eye if you feel like you need it. Otherwise, it's fine the way it is.
I'll say it's fine.
Yep.
Thanks
So
for subscribe, by the way.
I'd go front facing, and then let's look at the reference with the eye over it. So just so I understand what you're going for here, this outline line that we've made,
Yeah.
you want that to be the black outline here.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's two different things that I could potentially suggest here, and that is one, either you don't do the black outline and you just have a black outline over the whole model, which potentially also becomes relevant for the eye, or you do have it black outline like this. I feel like this first line here we have going around.
Like, you mean make a texture for it, or?
Well, if you're making this for, say, VC Face, so you can use it as a VTuber for streaming.
I was gonna mostly use it for a VR chat.
Okay. I mean, even with VR chat, you're gonna have a shader that will make outlines on the outside of your character as it is. So, and although you won't be able to see it looking directly at your character, you'll be able to see it looking at the side of your character with the eye being there.
Yeah, but I wanted to be
outline
visible
has
when
to exist.
front facing.
So you definitely want that being textured. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking of this thin line we've made around. I'd still have that. I guess we still could work without. I would still have this thin line of faces going around be the skin of your character's face and not the outline. I'd feel like everything on the inside of this should be the outline and the rest of the eye. Just because we can have a stable section that's not going to move ever, and then everything on the inside is the stuff that's going to move and jumble around, if that makes sense. That's my suggestion that you do. You can probably get away with it, but we'll make
So like,
we'll have
this
that.
is just more skin, and then this is the black outline.
That's what I was initially thinking. I'm just thinking about how I want to do this. I'm going to think about it a little bit more. I'm thinking if you had that outer outline be that black outline, if you tried to make yourself blink, it would deform too much of the actual face, if that makes sense. Because that means that whole top line would have to move down. Meanwhile, if we have that outer face and that whole thing deforms down to actually do the blink, it's not going to move the rest of the face, essentially. And because
Yeah.
of that outline being solid black, even if stuff like folds inside of each other as you're making the blink happen, it's still going to look all right. I guess the
I guess my only
yeah.
concern at this point would be, is the eye too small now?
We can definitely make it a bit bigger manually here. You don't need that outside layer to be that thick, if that makes sense. So you could make that outside layer pretty thin against the other layers. There just needs to be a buffer there so not everything gets destroyed. You can just press Alt and then click on a line and it should click that whole circle. Yeah.
Right. And then press.
Just select the inside one, the one in between, the line in between.
Right.
Just select that and then press G twice. Make it pretty thin there. And now make that whole next layer that is now much thicker now. Make that the size of what you want that outline. Yeah. That is my idea. Might not work as perfectly as we may want later, but we're gonna test it out and we're gonna see what happens.
There we go.
Alright, so we have that. We have the outline. Let's stare at the rest of the eye again. We can. Your reference. And so we're gonna have two more layers.
Yeah. One for the eye weights and one for the actual pupil.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna suggest something else when we get there as well. Oh, actually, maybe not.
There we go.
Okay.
Do you want me to like poke this face?
What do you mean?
Uh, like, hold on. Let me just show what I mean. Where is this one? Like that.
I don't think it matters. It might be better if you do that. Yeah, we'll just leave it as that. I think it's
Yeah.
good. We're still making it different than how I've done and seen other models, but doesn't necessarily need to be the same way. To see how it goes. This should work as we want. At this point, so you can see on the side that doesn't have all the lines and is all the stuff you're editing, you can see the actual eye physically there. And so if you want to move stuff around to see if you can minimize that impact of that being there.
Given that it's all going to be different colors anyway, I don't think it should matter that much.
Okay, so if you're not too worried about it, you think it's at the circular part, then I think we're good to leave it where it is. So right now, for how you feel with the model physically and how it's modeled and physically itself, is there anything else feature-wise that you want or are thinking about?
What do you mean?
So the eye here, are you trying to make anything else for the model physically?
Mouth.
Like, are you trying to physically make a mouth? Do you want to add anything else? Okay.
I'm assuming to get it like a similar effect, I just do like a sort of similar thing, except I guess the problem with that would be the mouth is so tiny that it could probably encompass just a single square.
So I'd have it encompass two, so not up and down, just like horizontally.
These
wherever
two?
you think is good. So it might be better if it's the two below it. What does it look like on side view? Unless, well, no, it's like.
How does it look on the side?
Where do you have the mouth? I guess it is right there, huh?
Though that's sort of like just because of like the sort of skewed perspective of the side. This is what it looks like on the front.
Yep. Hard to describe.
Which the longer I look at this being slightly off center, the more I just want to grab the front ref and just quickly nudge it
Yep.
left.
I wouldn't worry too crazy. Yeah, that for this case that would be great.
Anyway,
I'm not sure how you would model this the greatest. So you also want this to be a physical thing that deforms, right?
yeah.
And for each mouth sound. Okay. So there's
I
not a lot of
mean,
space
for
here.
the mouth, I would probably be a little less discontent with it just being a texture, but I want to try at least making it an actual model.
It's a very small space because you're basically go stop being the X-ray real quick so we can just stare at the mouth here. 9 hours. Yeah. I feel like you do want to take. So you're basically going to take that one square up entirely. If that makes sense. That one square you had
Yeah.
selected earlier at the corner of the nose there.
It's just this one single face.
Feel like press I. Bring that in. Bring that in so the square. Oh, it's a little awkward. Bring that in so that the right line is basically going to be the edge of where you want the mouth to end up. So, like, how big do you want the mouth? Just worry about it being that right line being the farthest
Do I?
that you want it to be, if that makes sense. So you
How do I
want.
make it go past?
So I'm not sure what you mean.
Like
I'm just setting up a basic shape that we're gonna build from.
the mouth. The
But
mouth is really, really small.
so
Like
are you gonna have it like half? I mean, it is really, really
yeah, half
small.
a square,
We'll,
sure.
we'll just leave it right there. So the left of that square that you have selected right now, select just the left line. Actually, just delete that face. Just delete that face you have selected.
Delete the face, or should I also delete this
No,
line?
keep. If that is that line still there, we should keep that line there.
Okay.
And my select that line.
Select that line. Subdivide into three, and then
I
merge the faces. I mean the vertices.
yes.
Like yeah,
Well,
do this.
don't.
Go to
Yeah.
where is
I'd.
subdivide.
Well, I wouldn't merge the vertices, but thinking about how I want to do this, I'd subdivide it 2 times.
Yeah, and then merge at last. Merge at last.
So I would just keep that square that you have there in the middle now to be the mouth. Although you don't have a lot of complexity worth with because it's literally exactly a square. It's not a lot of space. We can build around this. So I'd select that square in the middle there, and I press E.
E.
And now just bring it inside the body. Now just bring it inside the body a certain way. Yep, so just put it like right there. Good enough. So now delete the extra lines on the middle there, and then we'll connect it all so we actually have a mouth. So say the mouth is open
This
right
one,
now.
this line.
Yeah.
So delete.
Also, you should on the right side in your modifier, your mirror modifier, turn on clipping for me. By the way, that should remain on because you have stuff going into the mirror area. So there's that one node that went a little bit too far to the left. Bring it back over to the right, or at least put it central. Yeah, perfect, right there, perfect.
Yeah.
it should force itself against the edge. I think the one
I
at the
should probably
top
also check the top side
might
because
it.
I
Yep.
bet the top side is also done the same thing.
Yes.
There we go.
So we at least have something here now. Now we can think about it. There's still a line connecting top and bottom there in the front. We can keep it there for now if you want.
Oh, by the way,
structure.
probably should fatten. No, not just
Yep.
that one. This one too.
Yes. So it's up to you if this is literally all you want for a mouth. I'd create a back of the mouth, of course. So right now we're saying the mouth is open. We're gonna have it closed for the basic thing. So yeah, I'd delete that line that you typically have selected right now.
Alright, so what did you say next?
So there's still a line in the middle of the mirror. Does that make
Oh yeah,
sense?
delete this line.
Yeah, get rid of that for now. And then create a face for the back of the mouth. Just a
Right.
square.
Uh,
To seal it off from the inside. Oh, just be able to press F. Perfect. So, do you want it to literally be this rectangle? Do you want to try to add more complexity to it? I'm thinking about how I want to add.
usually the way I draw mouths is similar to the way on the PNG tuber. So it's like a sort of hemisphere sort of shape.
Okay.
Though
Thinking about
I guess it'd also be more complex from that because of frowning and also O's, which would obviously be circular, not hemisphere.
yeah.
And also the outline, there's also that too. Though that part would probably be a bit. That part would probably be easy to do. Let me like take these and I think what I want to do is inset. No,
I wouldn't inset.
bevel.
Bevel might work. Yes, and then you could take that extra line that you've made and stretch it out
Not like
more.
from there though. I mean like. Okay, this is gonna look a little bit. Okay, no, that still does it the same way.
A little much.
Like, I want it. You can't see the cursor, but like, I want.
Yeah,
I want.
I can see your cursor.
Oh, you can't see the cursor, right? You're
Yep.
looking on Discord, but like,
Yep.
I want it to be like on the edge of this, not like actually in between here.
So I'm not sure what you mean by that. You want it on the edge, just that top edge,
Like,
or
what I wanted to like so take these two, add another node like above them,
at
and
the top,
then
in
do
between
that,
them?
and then
Yeah.
just repeat the same for the other ones. Yeah, like that.
Let me
If that makes
think
sense.
about what the best way to do that would be. 'Cause there's a few ways to do that without changing everything else. I think I have an idea.
I am
So
thinking.
so that node you have selected right now, and that top one, subdivide that.
Yeah, that's what I
And
was thinking.
create a
Then
circle going around everything. Yep, we wanna create a circle around everything first, and then we'll worry about connecting that extra.
and then I
bit.
take these for slide them down. Slide them down. Where am I going? Slide them down to yeah, 7. Ah, fine. I'll do them individually, one by one.
I feel like it'd be better, or put it up top.
Ugh. Now I'm gonna go
feel like
down. That's the other issue I had
better-
earlier.
If they stay where they are, for the way I'm thinking. Okay, yeah.
Fine, I won't have it perfect, let me
So-
guess.
Yeah, don't delete the. So let's do the thing that I'm thinking about. Delete the 2 dots that you have on the diagonal pieces, and keep those just as
These
solid
2?
lines. Yep. Perfect. So now delete the face that those 2 dots that you've made where they are.
Delete these 2, you say?
The faces that they're attached to. So
Okay.
yeah.
Delete only faces.
And then show the nodes again. And then press Control R. And then have a line going across the. Yep. Oh, going up and down across the mouth. Not that way, going up and down.
Yeah?
No, you had it a second ago. Go back to the left. Right there. No, yep.
This?
Yep. No, not that. Up and down. The
That?
where you wanted it. Yes, right there. Do that.
Okay.
And then you should be able to just connect. There's technically a node that you'll have to make inside of the empty space that exists there. But you can then make 4 quads right in the middle. I don't know what the best way to explain how to make it is. So select the node at the bottom middle of the whole empty space, the bottom empty space.
This?
The bottom middle, bottom, the one below it, the one that's attached to below it.
This one?
That one, and now select the one to the top right of that empty space that it's in. The same empty space. Unselect that one.
This one?
No, the top right. So the one
Top right. This
of
one?
the empty space. Yes. Now press F. Now subdivide that. Now delete the top part of that line.
Delete
If that
the
makes
top
sense.
part of this line.
Yes. I think I've done this the wrong way. Now go back to just showing vertices. So now press on. I definitely did the line in the wrong direction, but you should kind of get the right idea. So the
If
That
you've done it in
dot-
the wrong direction, I can just
Yep.
do that.
um
Or was it the other wrong direction?
no, we definitely don't want that. We'll do the one you did a second ago. Yep, that one, and then delete that line. So now I'd slide that dot on the left down a bit, just for a while we have that other dot there on the stick, and then do that, and then that makes this good square. Make that square, and then fill in the empty spaces with their respective parts as well.
Like this?
Perfect. Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Just so we can get that complexity
Then just
that you
do
wanted.
the same thing. So
Yes.
oops, F,
Press F,
subdivide. delete this.
Oh,
H
do
mode,
the one
delete
that's hidden.
This.
Let's do the one that's hidden in the nose. Is what we did. Although you can still
Then
position it correctly.
select this and move it up.
And then
Then
move the floating one in position. It's a bit off of where it was before. So what we did before was go from the bottom right to the top left, which is inside the nose, and then subdivide the line that way, and not directly from there, because that's why it's
right.
off a bit.
Delete that one version, then this one, then the inside the nose one.
The nose. Yep.
Then F, subdivide.
And then now connect that dot.
4.
Yep.
Then
delete the lines.
These two edges, and then
okay. Might not be best to have it like this for there, just because it's stretching that top one in that situation, but it works. I might want to move that one floating, so don't have it like a perfect square directly above the mouth, if that makes sense. So you have like a perfect square. So I'd slide that along the long edge.
Like this?
I'd slide it a decent ways that way and then down towards the mouth a bit. So we're trying to make all 3 squares that it's contacting roughly the same size is the idea that we're trying to make.
And then what do you say about sliding this one? Which side?
I'm thinking about how it's shading right now and thinking about a way to make it a bit better. So that the huge diagonal line on the top and bottom.
These two.
Okay. Yes. Just thinking about that right now. If you press Control R and then hover over like that, yes, it might be good to make that. And then bring out, instead of smushing in that line that you were smushing in a little bit, bro, bring those out, and then bring the line that you just made in.
Bring which ones out? These two out?
So no, those 2 you can bring in if you want to, but the 2 that are now on the outside that you made before, I'd bring out more. So the ones at the top and bottom, the 2 that are top and bottom.
These two?
Yes. Maybe not that much. I'd bring it back a bit. Especially, well, bring the... It's like sliding really, really far to the right, and it should be brought back to the left a bit. I bring that bit higher than what it is. I'd still bring it like 50. I'll do 0.5. Except then slide the... Slide that.
Would a third be good?
I'd go it to 0.5. And then slide the one that's like awkwardly off to the right back to the left after. Well, not all the way. I do it like in the middle between of where it is. Just so that seems good to me, like there.
Of course.
I don't think you're gonna be able to manually edit that, no. Okay.
Okay.
I'm liking how the shading has gone now. You've gotten that complexity that you want. We
Uh,
also have
one
another box
one
going around it.
problem I do have is how this
Yeah,
face
I'd
isn't
move.
like a regular,
Yeah, I would move that. I don't know
but
why I
I
ended up like
can't
that.
really move it without making one of these two faces also a regular.
You should be able to take that top one and move it straight left.
This one moves
Or
straight left.
sliding it left.
Ah,
Yeah. I don't know why that ended up like that.
okay.
And
All
then
right.
this
So
is still like a basic mouth. I'd pinch the ends personally, although you're trying to we're still saying the mouth is open right now. Just like not really like all the way open, like kind of open right now.
yeah.
We want the neutral state to be it with the mouth closed, like you have in the reference.
One quick thing. I'm actually thinking that the outline is a little bit too thin right now. Let me move this
Yep.
out just a little bit.
Yep. So I would just start moving things around. I would pinch the edges
That
personally.
looks about. That looks fine.
Yep. That seems good to me. I'd pinch the edges a bit. So like the whole outside of the mouth. There's those two nodes that you just selected, and then the other well not that's not what I mean. I'd
These
get
two.
all I get all 6 of the nodes that make up that outside. So those 4, not those, the ones on the inside of the mouth now. And then I would press S and then bring them closer together. Yes.
Okay.
You're
Right.
getting the basic idea of that? Yeah. Okay. So right now this is like a if you were saying this is basically the mouth that you're making right
Ah.
now. But we want it to be as if you were doing what you're doing in your reference sheet, so your mouth is closed.
Yeah.
So if you can overlay that again, so I can see that on the X-ray, just get an idea here. So so all of the
Should I move the ref
nodes that
sheet down
are
just so you can like just so
I'd
it like
create a
lines up
second
properly or
I'd create a second ref sheet and then just hide the other one and then
okay,
just have that second
copy
ref sheet just for the mouth. I wouldn't
paste.
worry about the ref sheets being perfect. We just get the basic idea. So I just want to make sure we have the idea here. So I would have, for your idea, you have lips there and you have the inside of the mouth. And I'd have all of that be straight black.
1 second.
Unless you
All right.
really want the inside of the mouth to
So
be color. I from this point on, all of the 6 nodes that you have control of on the inside of the mouth,
yeah.
do not move them or expand them, make them bigger, if that makes sense. So like make the mouth more cavernous in some ways. Because it's still going to be the inside of the mouth, you just want to create the idea that's it's more open. So just press
So
S and expand it out and push it into the mouth, into the body more as well. So expand it
pressing
out a
S
bit.
just does it like that.
Yeah. So if you press S and you can still make it expand a bit. So it's going. I wouldn't make it smaller. I'd make it bigger. You can't make it
Like
bigger.
that.
I do it a little bit more. So the one thing is because you're next to the mirror obviously isn't going to move. So you still have to shift things around. So I would press G and then X. Press G once and then X and then move it into the body now.
Like this?
Okay, well move it back to the left again. Press G and X again and then move it back to the left. Actually, you have it on normal, never mind. I'll undo it twice. I thought you were on
Global.
mobile. Yep. So G and X.
G. X.
And push it into the face for a bit.
Hold on. Let me rotate the
It's
camera
better,
so I can actually
better to see it from the side. Yeah. I wouldn't go too crazy, but I'd make sure it's like a decent way inside of the. Like
Is that enough?
I bring it,
Is it
I bring
enough?
it
Too much?
closer. I bring it closer to the front of the mouth. Again. A little bit more. Yeah, it's fine. I press S and then Z now for a bit.
You press S and then what?
And then Z and then make it bigger. So it's like flaring out inside of the mouth. I think that's good. Maybe that's too much, depending on how you'll see it later. I think that's a little bit too much. Bring it back down a little bit. We still want to kind of get the idea. It's still all going to be dark, but I just want you to think about that on just the basic idea of the mouth and how it forms. At least we're doing a very basic shape, but... So now at this point, we'll leave that. That's not going to move basically at all. Or we might move it at certain parts. Right now, this is kind of the ah shape that we would make, which
I'm also probably gonna want a tongue as well.
How much do you want it? Because I feel like you're doing good without it. It's also a really small mouth at this point.
I think the tongue would be the last thing I'd need to add, really.
Well, for a lot of these things, you still want to be thinking about it now.
Ooh.
Of course, when it comes to a lot of other models, they just kind of have it as like a toggle. Like with a lot of snakes, it's kind of the tongue just flicking out every once in a while, or on a toggle. So it's not always there. So maybe that's your idea.
Thanks for the subscribes. Anyway, what were you saying?
For the tongue, depends on what you want the tongue for. Like, you just gonna have it in the model there? Are you gonna have it like flick out sometimes, or on a toggle, like how a lot of snake models
I only really want it to like match the art style. The only time it really actually like comes out is when I'm making noises, like th noises.
I feel like it's better to not have that, because I don't know anything that really does that, at least in 3D modeling stuff, that has the tongue actually come out for situations.
Could I at least like just like a little square that I can just color the color of the tongue?
Like, if you want to, you definitely can. I'd make it so I'd make the inside of the mouth on the mirror edge, the line there. I'd subdivide that.
Subdivide.
And then delete the face it's connecting to.
Delete the face it's connecting to this.
Yep.
Delete only faces.
Only faces. And then go back to vertices. And then I create a triangle on the bottom. And that triangle is where I'd keep your mouth. I'd keep your tongue. Is what I would suggest. I'd move nodes around to the size that you want. That's my initial suggestion. Of course, you can have it take up the whole size of the mouth. That's just my initial part. I don't know if you're thinking just on a texture side, on an actual modeling side. Just have that thought. Or maybe you want it to exist a bit more and then have it go out that way. Yeah. I don't know if that is going to work out the way you want it to. I don't know, you can make that work. Only faces. Bring it back. Then delete that diagonal I had you make.
Oh yeah, delete the diagonal. The edge. Then this triangle and this square. then this, that. Right. I'm gonna make another.
I'd get rid of the
subdivide.
triangle you made. No, I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do that. Go back. I
But
wouldn't
this
make
is
a
like the edge of the tongue.
triangle.
That's what that triangle is for.
I'd have a node be on that long edge of the triangle, if that makes sense, on the diagonal of the triangle. So it's still a bunch of squares, technically. So I'd subdivide
Okay.
that.
Right.
I think that will work, and then you make
Then
2 squares around that.
yeah,
Then that, and then press it again,
that,
and
and then that.
again.
Yeah.
And then it comes out into the mouth. I'd press Control R again. And then not looking at that, zoom back out. See the whole mouth. Don't worry about what you're doing. Zoom back out.
Can't scroll like this. Hold on.
What the normals are backwards is probably why that looks like that, by the way. It's nothing.
Face orientation.
Okay, maybe it's not. I'd slide that node out. But it's also because of just where that whole line is just ending up in a point. So you now have a penta there. So it's
Penta
also
where?
messing up. So you have a penta right on the edge of the lips, which is what I want to try to fix. So do Control R and zoom out a bit. Zoom out a
Can't
bit.
zoom out after clicking Control R.
Well, you already pressed Control R. It still exists. The command is going through.
Wait, when you say Control R, where?
Right. Oh, you saw it. Down below.
Right here.
Go down. More down. Right there. And then connect the 2 points in between. And you might
Do I
want
delete
to
this face?
shift them things around.
Should I also delete this face? I'm pretty sure this is not actually.
Yep. Yeah. Delete that face.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Delete only face. I wonder why you call them nodes instead of vertices, by the way.
Depending on the situation, one's more relevant than the other. I'd slide those around. I'd give the tongue more space, really. I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do that.
I'm just like making that so I can actually slide it in that direction.
Okay. I'd bring everything up, not down, personally. That one node that's all weird. I'd slide that up.
Slide this one up.
Yeah. Along with the other one on the inside.
This one.
So yep. So both of those. Though the one on the mirror is fine. Also, we're really not going to notice this because
The tongue looks too concave, though.
I mean, what are you?
By the way, do I need to like push these 3 back a bit? By the way.
No. No, it's fine. I mean, you can if you want. It shouldn't be a problem. So, what are you trying to do right now? I guess is my question. Is really right now, unless you're extruding it and having a physical tongue be there, you're going to have the whole inside of the mouth be black. So it.
I'm gonna have it be dark red, but yeah.
Okay. So those 2 squares that you've now made in the middle there, I'd extrude those out and just make a basic tongue there. Yep, that's fine. And I Control Z and then bring it up. Well, GZ, not Control Z. Sorry. And then press S to make it smaller. And then I'd make this the end of your tongue, and then worry about the rest of it a bit later. I do GY, so you can bring the ends of the tongue together. So let's just put the position of the end of the tongue first. So if you just want it to exist, you could just keep it like that and then not worry about it.
Okay.
I think that will work fine.
Okay. How do I go about doing teeth then for like t and n sounds and stuff like that?
So I generally don't show teeth at all, and a lot of models don't as well. If you really want to do that, that's why I'm still saying like the tongue, the teeth, it really doesn't fully need to be there. We're just gonna get general shapes and general feelings for a lot of things, just because not mouth doesn't necessarily make sense in a lot of cases, especially with how small it is as well. So we're still going to get the general shape.
Hold on, I'm gonna try a thing. Where is she? Then I want this. I want like these actually connected to the base of the mouth, if that makes any sense.
Want to connect to the bottom of the mouth. I would keep it up so you have control of where to move it, because you wanted it part of the right? You're not really going to have the ability to move it later unless you want it constantly visible. I'd rather have it here so you can hide it.
Yeah, I want it constantly visible.
You want it constantly visible while you're doing other sounds. I mean, it's still going to be constantly visible.
I meant, no, I mean like when I say connected to the mouth, I mean like the base over here, not like all the way over here.
I mean, you could do Control R and then have it go around the inside of the mouth here, and then connect it to just delete faces in between, if that makes sense. So do that, and then you delete the faces in between.
Then delete the faces in between, like.
Yeah, so those two.
These two. These four.
I feel like you just connect the ones on the inside and not so much the ones on those outside, if that makes sense. So it's still connected. And it's still a rounded shape. So I'd keep the faces on those.
Can I grab these? There we go.
Yep.
Forgot about the mirror.
But that's up to you.
Edges, and then I just.
This might come out weird the way you've done it, but it's fine. It's gonna make a triangle.
That is going to create a triangle. I'm assuming you don't want that.
That is fine, because we're not going to care what the inside of the mouth looks like. So just do whatever you want. Okay.
Sneezes.
So the one thing that I'm thinking and worrying about right now, I think we're all good for the basic shape of the mouth. Right now, the thing that I'm worrying about is the line that was created to make the tongue work.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Like this line?
No, the whole line coming out and affecting the rest of the outside faces. That one we just made a little bit ago.
I mean, if it's not gonna be any trouble, I can just
dissolve
all of these.
That's fine. No, don't worry about that. It's not that. It's the. I don't know how to explain it.
This one?
Nope. Zoom out. It's not on the inside of the mouth at all. The one that's adding, yes, that whole line going on the outside. So the one that's part of the lip, that line, and the two lines you have selected, and the one that's part of the lip. and the one
Dissolve
on
these
just the
3.
inside. I
And this
dissolve that
one,
one.
dissolve that as well.
Yep. I would say delete the face that's now a penta and then put a triangle in there.
Delete the face is now a penta. Right.
I think you
Delete.
can. I think you can delete the triangle and the other square that's connected to it that you have there now, and actually connect those two triangles together, and just have another square.
Where?
Does that make sense?
Where?
Delete the two triangles, and they're
These
associated. These two and the squares between them.
These 2?
Yep. So you should be able, at least I believe that you should be able to get a 3 squares there. I do that. Yep. And then I do the same thing on the other side. I delete that line, yeah.
Like this.
Okay. Makes it a little weird on the shading there, but that's fine. I think that's all good.
Right.
So that lower jaw of the mouth,
Yeah.
I'd have, so the nodes under the lip, the 3 that are there. So
These
the 2,
3?
no, the 3 below that.
These,
Below
these
that.
3?
Not the one on the left, not the one to the right. So the one on the mirror. So that one and that one and that one. Yes. I feel like, no, not the one at the top. You had the one in the middle. I feel like I want to have those slide down a bit. At least the 2 on the mirror plane. Maybe not the one on the inside. But at least the 2 on the mirror. They don't feel, it feels like, I feel like you unselect that one. Yeah. I don't think we can do both at the same time. Slide those down just a bit. Maybe not too crazy, but I feel like it's going to need that extra leeway when you make a lot of different faces with the rest of the mouth, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because you're basically just going to... Everything around the mouth is going to move a little bit. All those extra nodes that we've made around.
Yeah.
But it's, for the most part, we're going to just have it be that line that is the lips be moving.
Cool.
Is what we're going to try to do. How's that sound? I think at this point, so let's pretend that that outline of those squares, those 5 quads that you have there, is going to be what is essentially your mouth the whole time. And then when you
These
get it open,
5?
no, the inside 5.
These 5?
It's gonna be, those are your lips the whole time.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to just move those into whatever position that you want them to be.
I think they're in a good enough position.
So right now, we don't want it in this position. We don't want it in the open mouth position. We want it in whatever you want to be neutral all the time. We want it to be in that position. So we're going to want it in that smile position, if you remember, of the... So this mouth pose is okay, but it's not what we want to have neutral all the time. So I would try to bring those closer as you can. You probably can't do it all at once. I just select the top or the bottom mouth, whatever side you think should come closer. you mostly move your bottom mouth, so I'd mostly keep the top part of the mouth not moving as much. But it depends on where you want things to be positioned. I don't know how it looks on your reference or how you'd feel would be better. You want that at least a little smile going on.
How do I
So
move
I
these
would,
directly towards that then?
I don't know how to do it directly towards them. I wouldn't slide them. I'd select those two squares and the one on the right.
Okay.
Now view from the side. So I do, yep. And then I would move those, just move all three of those up until you kind of get the smile position that you want. So I'd do Control Z or just kind of manually
You
press
mean
G.
GZ?
Press G once, and then, yep. And so I would keep bringing it up until you kind of get to where you want the smile, and then worry about deforming the rest of it. Just get it to where you feel like the top lips should kind of be. And I bring the bottom lips down at least a little bit. We don't want to
Bottom lip
completely
down at least a little
destroy
bit.
the side. Okay.
I want. How do I have it so that they're like actually like basically contacting?
I'd bring the top lips down a bit, personally. And then I just get it close. If not, now view it from the front. Let me think about how I would want to do that. So the side of the lips now, the outside that's getting kind of pinched. I click that upper diagonal that exists.
This one.
On the inside. So the
This one.
line, the whole line of it. Well, yes,
Uh,
that node. Yeah, it's mostly that
this one.
node that I'm thinking about. Yeah. So I'd bring that up just a little bit so it's not smushing entirely there. And then bring it to the left a bit. I bring it down. Don't bring it like too up. I just don't want those entirely
So
overlapping.
like
Otherwise,
this.
I'd I'd have it like that, and
Uh,
then I'd bring the entire upper lip out in front of the lower lip a bit, if that makes sense. So I'd grab the three lines, yep, like that, and I bring it down a bit at this point.
and this face.
So that face, I'm not sure what the best thing we can do is. The rest of the mouth is starting looking good. I would just... Well, the inside of the mouth on that part is still going to be all black, so you're really not going to notice it. So I'd bring
It's not.
the
It's not black.
bottom
It's dark red.
down. Well, I thought you were just going to have the tongue be dark red.
The tongue is pink. The actual inside of the mouth is dark red.
Okay.
The same colors that you see on the PNG tuber.
I wouldn't color by just having faces be a singular color. Um, so I would still have like the edges be black, if that makes sense. Because in situations like this, you can't really overlap it the way it is. I'd bring, so it's pretty good right there, but you're still kind of having the mouth open a bit. Depending on the angle, you're probably not gonna notice it. The mouth is a bit open. That's pretty good. Just having it basically on it. You could probably do the same with right on the mirror edge there. I think the others are good. It's just kind of moving it around till you see what you're looking for. Because before it wasn't as great. Like that's pretty good. I mean, if you're good with that,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. And that's really just seeing it from underneath. You're not always going to get it perfect. You could probably
Um,
literally put the nodes on top of each other. There is ways to literally place it on top of another node. Takes a little bit, but you can do it.
I think this is good enough.
Okay. So I would say that we just say that that's good.
Okay.
Uh, One thing I want to say for you to do now is, so for every mouth shape that we're gonna be
One quick
eventually
thing
doing.
beforehand. I'm just
Yep.
gonna slide these outwards and make the outline just a little bit thicker.
Yep. So make everything make sense while it's in this neutral state, if you want.
Mm.
Make sure at least this state makes the most sense, because all other states, they're not always going to sit in for very long. But we're going to be in this state a lot.
There we go.
Okay.
The silly.
So
I'll
we're
save this as
essentially,
work in progress 31.
yep, we're essentially going to be deforming the mouth to all of the different visemes or different mouth
Yeah.
shapes that you would make. Like A-E-I-O-U is at
Yeah.
least the basic 5 that you would have, if not a whole system of them. I'd recommend just doing the basic 5. It's actually Japanese visine. I can send you a thing on that, but to just get started on that, go to object mode, because this is the part where I
Before we do that, can I go back to making this a little bit more circular?
I want you to make the blend shape, the base blend shape first, just so it exists. It's not actually doing anything, so go to object mode.
Object. Oh
So
wait, no,
on the
object
top right.
mode.
Yep. And then go to the green triangle. And
Yeah.
then press plus on the right side of shape keys. So shape keys, not vertex groups, below it. Down below.
Sure, why does it say Sphere 04?
That is technically the name of the thing that you were selecting, or at least originally. Don't worry about it for now. So now there's basis, and now press plus again. So I just have this be like a second base, like just in case the normal base gets messed up, like base 2, or some people do sil, I believe, and then you would do plus again, and then there would be like so AA would be the next one, and so then you would make.
I'm gonna need to pull up a list of phonemes real quick. List of phonemes. There's 44 of them.
Yes.
I remember that. I remember when I did a previous model, there was only like 14 or something.
Okay. So the ones that I normally do for VTuber stuff, there's only 5. But if you do stuff like all the way, you do ArcKit, which is all of them, which I believe is that, like going to 50 really. And so you just make the generalized shape of whatever each one is.
Visemes, references, Unity, Oculus. I think this will be one of the ones I need for what is it, VR chat.
Okay. So I don't know exactly everything that your chat wants.
F th d k ch s n r a e I.
There should be visuals for each one as well, and I just try to match the visuals.
Yeah, it does also come with visuals too.
Yes. Okay. So that's the point where you'd make each one, and then
Yeah.
you would only change the model when you're actually selected on the shape key that you want to change. And I have a second basis just in case you accidentally were still on
Hold on,
the
let me
normal
rename
basis.
this to Viseme instead of phoneme.
Usually just people just have AA or PP. People don't write
Fair enough.
Viseme. It's not like you're gonna have multiple AAs. I wouldn't worry about making all of them now. If you want to talk about the eye.
1 second, let me just make all the phonemes real quick. I find it interesting that some of these aren't capitalized on the website.
I believe there is a reason why. It's just because of how you say it or how it's done. It'll be easier to understand. Like there's some double A's that's capital and there's some that's lowercase.
Not on this sheet.
I'm not sure what the VR chat stuff is entirely yet because I haven't gone fully through it.
I did just go through the through this list. That's
Yep.
It's not for VR chat, but it is for like VR in general. So I'd assume this is the case. I'd assume it would apply to VR chat. So
I'd still make it like this, but I would look at VR chat specific stuff. There's definitely videos from VR chat themselves as well.
Yeah, so it goes silent pa, fa, th, duh slash ta, ka and ga, cha and sa, sa and za, n and ul, a, e, o, and oo.
Yes.
Me making funny noises in the stream.
So I'm not gonna go over everything for those, but I believe you can figure out from where you are.
Yeah.
One thing now that I'm thinking about, if you go back to edit on the mouth.
Oh yeah, I have I still have the gosh darn the old versions of the eyes unhidden.
Yep.
Alt H. Let me delete these. Anyway.
So looking at the mouth again, just one thing is those 4 nodes that are way down below the mouth, or at least the 3 that I had you move. It might be good to move those back up, or at least closer to the mouth. They should just be like a relative distance away from the mouth. So when you open it with like and stuff, you'll also move those down with it. If that makes sense. Okay. I was just seeing
like this.
Bit of a shading thing. Yeah, I think that's good. I'd bring that other one up. Yeah, that one a little bit.
This one up a little bit.
Yep. I think it makes more sense now that the mouth's closed and actually seeing it like this. That's just another thing to think about. When you're moving the mouth, it's not just the lips moving. It's the rest of it moving around. The inside of the mouth, I wouldn't really worry about moving unless you really want to get something that you're not seeing immediately. So I have to go decently soon. We'll talk about the eyes. What were you thinking about the eyes here?
Just making them more circular looking. That'll probably be the last thing we have to do anyway.
So outside of adding a lot of nodes to it, or adding a line down the middle, like I was talking about a little bit ago, adding a line going all the way straight down the middle of everything there. It's hard to say how well that would work, because there's definitely a few different tricks you can kind of get away with without it affecting the rest of the head here. But a lot of it, I would think, is just you texturing. We can do that as well. And that would be the best way. And then you kind of squeeze the top and bottom. I would maybe not worry about having a line going straight up and down. Just squeeze the top and bottom so the sides come in more.
How do I
Because that
squeeze the
gets a
top and
lot.
bottom?
What? So just bring the top and bottom triangle that exists now, just smaller angle, if that makes sense.
Like all of these,
Oh,
or
No, so you've made lines on all of the side parts on both left and right, but now the top and bottom doesn't have that same complexity, if that makes sense. So you either add a line going all the way down the middle, or you just smush everything so everything still has the same size. Again, except for that center face, because I wouldn't worry about that center face being too crazy. It's more just have things that you just need. Honestly, undo all those lines you just did. I'd have those lines, but only have them exist inside the eye, if that makes sense.
I don't actually know how to get that happening.
You could do all those lines and then just delete them and then remake them.
When you say inside the line, does this face that's just gonna be part of skin count or no?
I feel like it's better if you don't have it there. I just have it go up to it, not going through it. That makes sense?
Yeah, so just the outline, whites and pupil.
Yeah, you might be able to get away with subdividing that. Okay, it looked better than I thought it was. And then if you want to just push things around and then get it smoother.
I feel like that's
right.
that's a bit too much complexity. Like
it basically just adds what you just did. Like do it again.
No, what was the one for selecting alt click, right? Then just subdividing these rings.
Okay. Yep. So you don't want to add another layers.
Yeah. I'm also probably gonna have to like make extra lines, but yeah.
Yep. So I'd keep it as the pentas on that skin layer that we talked about.
Okay.
Otherwise, just have the eyes just be whatever you need it to be. And have that skin layer just be that layer in between the eyes and the rest of the body.
Should I move the new ones out or the old ones in?
I'd move. It's kind of going both ways. It just depends on what you're looking for. I feel like it'd be easier to move the skin out.
It'd be easier to move the skin out.
I'd move the outliers in if that's what you're looking for. Yeah. Unless that's where you want the circle. It just depends on where you want it to be.
No, like move these ones like for demonstration purposes, like so up here, or like I'd move these ones down.
I'd move the old ones in just so you don't have to move the skin layer. I get what you mean. I was backwards.
Yeah.
All right. How are you feeling on the eyes and the mouth?
One second. What would it be? Scaling really work?
Do enough. I think that's pretty good.
Cool.
You got 20 nodes going around.
About
having 16 or more. Having 16 or more for a circle is pretty good.
What should I do about the fact that all of these are hexes?
I'd connect all of those I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it for the skin layer, of course, but
Yeah, not this. I probably also won't have to worry about doing it for the eyes since these are also quads.
yeah,
But
don't worry about it. Don't worry about
yeah,
it. Don't worry about the center of the eye. And then
I'm probably
literally
gonna have to
move
delete all those
things
faces actually first.
as you want.
Um, delete only faces.
And then make that's not making what you think it's making. It's making a triangle. It's not making a straight line. I just make 2 squares. So make a square on one layer. So, yep, make that square. And then just keep pressing F. Spam F.
Spamming A isn't doing anything.
Okay, so now make a square above it. Like on the layer above it. Make a square in that layer. Should be able to roll around. Well, at least when you finish one, it'll be able to. It seems to stop after 2 beyond. Decently fast, though.
There we go.
Okay. All right.
I
How are you
might save
feeling
this as
about
work in
that?
progress 32, I guess.
Yep. I think that's a very good spot to be on.
One more thing, I'll slide all of these ones outwards a little bit.
Yep.
There's no way I'm going to be able to get all of them to slide in the way I want it. Don't. I just want it to move up. Why is that so hard to ask for?
I do one little bit at a time. All right. I believe I must go for now. I think you've got a very good spot of where you're at. I would think about looking at starting unwrapping and texturing, unless you have any other physical model things you want to do.
Yeah, the
At least
texturing
have
is probably
the-
going to
at
be
least have
next.
the base of that. Yeah, at least have the base on that. Of course, they're still making all of the Visemes for AIOU and all the other things for the mouth.
Of course.
And then you want to do the same thing. You want to make shape keys for the eyes as well, for each blink and like half eye or otherwise. And those will literally be you deforming each layer as you desire. One thing I suggest for the eyes is, you know, like that anime glint of light in people's eyes that's slightly off center. I do recommend that legitimately.
Like the little like shine.
There's like a circle inside of the eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an off center circle inside of the eye. I found that
I don't often draw the eyes with anything in it, but
I think it adds a detail that is nice. At least think about it. At least on a texture level.
sure. I can like trial it, I guess, so. Alright, so I suppose that'll be it for episode 4B of modeling. We will be back sometime with this series. I will also be of course streaming Minecraft The Broken Journey as usual on Sunday. And until then, thanks for watching and thanks for having you here, Iced.
Yes. It's good.
Talk
through things.
Until then, we'll be back later. Goodbye.